In this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to create a animated cover in After Effects. I'm going to be showing you how to create the blood drip, the blood animated inside the IV tube, and the EKG monitor in the background. So here are the files that I'll be using for the tutorial. The dripping water animation, EKG, and this is the cover I designed in Photoshop. And let's go ahead and open up After Effects. Once you got that open, make sure the project file is here. I'm gonna go back to Bridge and let's import the cover. It's gonna ask you to merge or be able to edit the layer. Make sure this one is selected. Click OK. And let's go back to Bridge and let's import these two. And before we get started, just go ahead and save this so that way we don't lose any of our progress. I'm just gonna save it on desktop. And I'm just rename this. Alright, so just go ahead and double click this. Already did. Let's go here, click on fit so we can see everything. First thing we want to animate is the blood dripping right here. So that's under the IV. So let's double click that. Now we can go inside here. Let's go ahead and zoom in. So let's go here to the dripping water animation. But we're going to turn that into blood. Let's zoom out. Bring this up kind of like that. And let's change the blending mode to screen. So we can see it. Let's go to levels. Let's drag it, drop that, and we'll bring this over here. Let's increase the brightness by bringing the highlights up like that. And darken the shadow kind of like that. And let's change this to black and white. So I'm going to apply the hue and saturation. Let's bring that all the way down. And let's bring the levels underneath the hue and saturation. So make it black and white, then change that. I want to get it all the way white like that. Alright, so here's the top. We want that top to be right there. So let's hit S for scale. Bring the size of that down. So we want that top to match that and that to down there. So let's change that to 31. Let's do 31.5. Alright, save that. Alright, so let's hold Shift, hold Control Shift C to pre-compose. And I'm going to name this Blood Drip Mask. And make sure that's selected. Click OK. Double click here. And let's zoom in. And let's delete this. So I'm going to hit Control C to copy, O to go to the end of the frame, then Control Alt V. That will paste it right after the frame right there. So I'm gonna hit O to go to the end. Same thing, Control Alt V. Click on O to go to the end of the frame. So now we're gonna just keep on copying and pasting until it's a minute long, because that's how long I'm gonna create the animation for. And let's go ahead, Control Alt V, click O, and you can see you could do it pretty quick. We're at 20-second. I could just copy the whole thing like this. Copy that, click O, Control Alt V, click O, Control Alt V, and pass a minute, so that should be good. Go ahead and save this, close this out. So you can see the screen blending is gone, but it won't matter because we can use this only as a mask. So I'm just going to go ahead and disable the audio, and let's disable that for now. And let's go here. We want make a copy of the blood. So the blood bag right there. So I'm gonna hit Control D, make a copy. And I'm gonna see where the blood is at right there. I'm gonna bring this to right there. So kind of like that. And I'm select the track matte. If you don't see it, you could toggle right here. And Luma matte. And it's gonna use the blood drip mask to mask it. You can see. So basically we just use the same color as the blood. Use that there. Alright, so I'm just gonna lower the opacity just a little bit. So I'm gonna hit T. Change that to 80. Alright, that looks good. I'm going to save that. And go to the main one here. I'm just looking at this right now. Just see how it looks. Alright, that looks good. Save that. Now let's do the animation where it looks like blood is going down the tube and into the arm. So again, I'm going to disable the audio just in case, because we don't want no random audio inside the animation. Alright, so let's go to our main image. Here's the IV here. Double click that. It'll go into this pre-comp. I'm going to zoom in. Now we have the tube. Now let's go inside the tube like that. And then this one's just a shadow. And then this the tube itself. Save that. And I'm going to do Control D. And this one, let's rename that tube mask. So we can use this as a mask. And we want to change that. So I'm going to apply levels. We want to change that to make it all white. So I'm going to bring the shadow all the way up. Save that. Disable this. And we can use that only as a mask. Now select anywhere away from the layer. So none of the layers selected. Let's go here to the pen tool. Make sure the fill, there's no fill. Just click on that. Click none. Stroke. Let's change that to white so we can see it. And let's leave it at 6. Zoom in. And let's start from the top. Let's make a point here and drag it down. Point here, drag that down. And I'm just holding the space bar to bring up the drag tool. It's gonna go down like that. So I'm just guessing where it's gonna be. So right there. You could hold space bar before letting it go. You can move it like that. Point there. Again, you can hold the space bar. Try to get inside the tube. I'm gonna hold the space bar, drag it like that. So I'm just cleaning it up after I finish this. So I'm just go ahead and go like that. Have it come back up there. Up here, and let's go ahead and close that out. Alright, I'm just double check everything. So this one, that's good, kind of right here. It's not going inside the tube like I want it to. So I'm just go ahead and hold Control. Actually go here, select that tool, and just redo it. Hold the space bar, bring it up, kind of like that. Alright, much better. And let me see, maybe right here. Hold the space bar so I could drag it like that. Save that. Alright, now let's go down here. Open the content, shape, stroke, and scroll down. So we want the dash line. So let's add 1 and 2. And if we change 1, we could change the size of it. Say like 27, and then we change the gap to about like 124. Let's make it fit. Maybe 72, so about 27 and 72. And that looks good. I'm gonna go to the beginning of the frame. I'm gonna select the offset. Alright, so once you add a keyframe here, let's go out to 1 minute. So I'm just go here, type in the number 1, and let's create a keyframe here. And when you move the offset, you can see how it's moving. But it's moving in the wrong direction, so it's going up. To fix this, let's keep this at 0. Let's go to the beginning of the frame, and let's change this to 500. Now it should look like it's going down, and I'm gonna play it just to check the speed. It might be too slow. Let's try 1000. Let's try 5000. Alright, so it's almost there. Let's do 3500. Alright, much better. So I'm going to save this. And let's go ahead. Bring the shape underneath the tube mask. And let's change the track matte to Luma Matte. Now you can see the animation is only showing where the tube is at. So let's go ahead and change the blurriness. So I'm gonna type in Gaussian blur. If you can't find the effect preset, go to Windows and make sure that's checked. And make sure that's selected. Double click that. And let's change it to, let's try 5. Maybe 3. Let's do 4. Alright. Now let's go ahead and change the color. So I'm gonna go here, select black, click OK, And let's change the blending mode to soft light. And maybe not all the way black, maybe like a dark gray, kind of like that. So 23, 23, 23, click OK. Not much better. So I'm gonna save that. Let's go to the main. Let's zoom in. So you can see it's dripping and the animation is coming down. So that looks good. Now let's go ahead and go to the EKG machine right here. So let's go there. So this is the actual graphics on there. And then that's the screen itself. I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna zoom out. And I'm gonna go to project. Select this. Bring this down above the screen. Let's disable the audio. And here I'm just disable that. We don't need that. That's just a still image. Let's go here. Bring that up. Now I'm just bring it in, resize it. I'm gonna hold shift. So I'm gonna try to match that corner, this corner to that. Hold shift. So say about right there. All right, let's go to our effect. Type in corner, and in distort, corner pin. Drag that, put that there, and let's go ahead and zoom in just a little bit. Select that, select the corner pin, so that way you can move it, and make sure you want to cover the screen so it's not showing. Same thing here, kind of like that, and like that. Now let's go ahead and make a copy of the screen. So this layer right here, so I'm gonna hit Control D, bring us above that layer. Let's name this. Don't want to double click. Hit Enter to rename it. So EKG mask. And same thing. Let's go here to levels. Double click that. It's not applying. Drag and drop it. Bring the black all the way up so that is white. Disable that. Bring this back. Change the track matte to Lumen Matte. And that should be good. Now it's only inside the screen. So this one, let's do T. Bring up the opacity. Let's change this to 50. Let's try 80. No, 80 looks good. 50 was too light, so I'm gonna go here. All right, so remember we want a animation to be a minute long. So let's go here to the machine, and let's do the same thing and put it to a pre-comp. So I'm just bring this back to 100 for now, because what I'm gonna do is so let's unchange this. So I'm gonna pre-comp this. So I'm gonna do Control Shift C and EKG. Click OK, or actually just move all that. Click OK, and just disable the audio again. So we'll do the same thing. Click Fit so we can see. Bring that like that. Same thing, so I'm going to do Control C to copy, O to go to the end of the frame, Control Alt V, and I'm just going to do the same thing, O, Control Alt V, O, Control Alt V, O, Control Alt V. Let's do it one more time. Make sure it goes over the 1 minute mark. Save that. And let's close this. Now we're back in this one. So this is the one we just created, and this is the mask. Now we'll go here and go to Luma Matte, and it's gonna do the same thing. Mask it out. T for opacity. Change that to 80. Save that. Let's go back here. All right, so now the animation goes all the way up to a minute. So I'm gonna change this to a minute. I'm gonna show you why. So we want it to be a minute long. So you could drag this and go like that, or if you hit the letter N, it will put the end right there. Again, I'm just disable this just in case, and I'm gonna right click. If you want to clean up your workspace, you can right click and then trim comp to work area, and then it just go up to a minute. So I'm gonna save this. All right, so the next thing you want to add, because you see how the screen looks more sharper than the background. So to fix that, let's go here, type in Gaussian, make sure that's selected, double click, and let's try 5. 5 don't look too bad. Maybe one a little bit sharper. Let's do 3. All right, 3 looks better. Let's do 4. All right, that looks good. All right, so we got the blood dripping there, going down the tube into his arm. Background is good. Save that. So yeah, that's how you create the animation for the blood drip and that. If you have any questions, just leave it in the comments, and I'm gonna see you guys next time.